Call the roll, please.
Good afternoon, Randy Ruby. I think I'm echoing. Am I? Okay, good. No problem. Here, Todd Horn online. I see.
He is on.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Marvin Nevelier. I don't know how to say that.
Neveler.
Neveler. Okay.
He is on.
He was maybe going to be remote, but Bryce Shaneborn,
Here.
Timothy Westfall online, Robert Hahn, Jason McMillan, Roger Petrick, Dennis Wortko.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, public comment. There's nobody in the gallery. Is there anyone online? No one online? Okay, any communications from committee members? Minutes from December 5th, 2024. We'll need a motion and a second to approve.
Motion, but I wasn't here.
Okay, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
I don't normally do that position. I actually consider part of this.
Yeah, you're a voting member. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Motion's carried. Law enforcement reports. Mr. Hahn isn't here. Did they send anything with you? Okay. Marv, he never made it. Timothy Westfall, State Patrol.
Nothing to report today.
Thank you. Bureau of Transportation, Law Enforcement Liaison, Todd.
Share my screen. There we go. All right. Come on. Well, I'm sharing my screen, but it doesn't want to move, so I might have to do this manually, which is okay. Let me just give me 2 seconds here to see if this works. Doesn't want to work that way. Okay, we'll go this way then. So taking a look at Price County overall 2024 crash data, what we're looking at is the 5-year average, which is in the light blue. Off to the left here, you can see the light blue versus the dark blue. The dark blue is the 24 crash data, and the light blue is the 5-year average previous to that. So we're looking at 23, 22, 21, 2019, all averaged together. So how did we do in 24 in Price County overall? All your crashes overall are down from 99 to 117. No injury crashes are down. Minor injury crashes are down. However, down at the bottom, if you take a look, you'll see that 65 plus drivers are up. Teen drivers are down just a tad. Speed crashes are down. And impaired are down. Distracted is down. So that's all good news. Continuing on. Your motorcycle just went up just a touch. Commercial motor vehicles are up just a tad. Lane departures are down just a touch, and your winter roads are down. So then I moved on to community maps. It did use predictive analytics, which is simply a way to look at all the crashes that have occurred over the last 3 years. And what I did was I wanted to look at the last 3 years of data and where can we expect to see crashes in Price County for the next 90 days. This is, helpful for law enforcement to say, hey, where should we focus our attention? Maybe, during the winter months, we have issues here. During the summer, we have maybe, tourism. So we have problems there. So the next 90 days in Price County, these are these little black rectangles. Those are analysis areas. And then some of these like orange and green, those are showing where some of the crashes have occurred recently. So taking a look at analysis area 1, that's one of those rectangles that just showed up. That's on Highway 13. They were studying 4 crashes. They pulled from 4 crashes, and some of the flags that were determined were distracted, speed, 65 plus, and winter road. So for our law enforcement partners, that might be something they want to take a peek at, where they can expect to maybe see crashes over the next 90 days. Also, excuse me, analysis area 2, that would be on Highway 70, and they're looking at distracted speed 65 plus and winter driving as well. So again, going back, these are those areas, those rectangles I just discussed, and they go into greater detail down below. Let's take a look at Phillips Police Department. Again, 24 data versus the 5-year average. All of their crashes are down. I gotta move something over here. Pardon me. All their crashes are down, including their no injury crashes. 65 plus drivers appear to be steady. Going down to the next area, Winter Road, occupant protection, not a lot of data there. So doing a predictive analytics search for Phillips PD. This time I searched fatals, serious, minor, possible, and property damage, all crash types. That's KABCO. And I did a 10-year search for their data over the next 90 days, and that came up with this analysis area here. So Phillips PD analysis area number 1, that would be obviously in the city on Highway 13. And we're looking at Winter Road, large truck speed, and 65 plus drivers. So looking at Park Falls, 2024, there's their data. Fairly steady. Did a predictive analytics for a 5-year over the next 90 days. It looks like First Street is the main concern for them. And there it is, Highway 182, large truck impaired, and 65 plus driver. I was speaking to the chair a little bit before this. Sounds like there are some Amish that are in the county here. And some counties, obviously, there's all kinds of Amish, and other counties, there's very few. Just some interesting information as far as, the people that live within our community. So what this shows is the total persons killed and injured in horse and buggy crashes from 2018 to 2024. And the blue bar graph shows those that are injured. So you can see the numbers on the left correspond with the blue. And then that line graph on the right corresponds on the right with those are fatal injuries. So you can see where we sit over the last few years from 18 up to 24 with, and this is statewide, where we sit with Amish buggy crashes, injury, and fatals. This is an interesting slide. What it does is it talks about the types of crashes that occur on our roadways. And the one that is the most common would be a front to rear, or when a passenger car, a pickup truck, or whatever rear ends an Amish buggy. And you can see almost 44% of all crashes have to do with this type of collision. Down below, you can see the number 8 was highlighted. This is an older slide, and this was a slide that I borrowed when I was giving a presentation in Vernon County, which is one of the largest populations of Amish in the state. That and maybe not population, but anyway, with crash types anyway. So you got Vernon and Clark County, which are 2 of my counties that I attend. And that is a front to front or head on. They're very rare. If you notice, it's 3.62% of all crashes are head on. But recently they did have an Amish buggy fatality that fit that criteria. For our law enforcement partners, another acronym to learn: driver oriented screening for cognitive impairment. So what this is when law enforcement, either they'll conduct a traffic stop, say someone's weaving or didn't stop for a stop sign, or there's a driving complaint and they end up having contact with a motorist. Oftentimes they have to determine whether they're under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And if they determine they're not under the influence, well, then why are they behaving this way? And so there's a lot of people in our driving public that have cognitive impairment, whether it was something where like a head injury, or it's something that's degenerative, over the years. And oftentimes we think of the elderly, but it's not solely the elderly that have this issue. So DOSI is a list of questions that law enforcement can ask. They're standardized. The officer doesn't need to come up with them off the top of their head while they're on the side of the road on a traffic stop. But this came out of the state of California. They wanted to standardize this. So the California, I don't know what they call it, but there's training and standards. That's what Wisconsin calls it. They've adopted this and it's used throughout their state. They call it the DOSI. Wisconsin has not yet given the blessing on training and standards level. However, the Department of Motor Vehicles is allowing the use of it. The only thing is when law enforcement does use the DOSI, we ask that they not necessarily use the name DOSI or that someone scored a 7 or an 8 on it. What we want to do is have them just use the tool to familiarize themselves. We're kind of getting traction throughout the state, and eventually we believe training and standards will approve this and won't be an issue. But for the time being, if you do actually come in contact with a motorist and you do read them, the document, well then when you're filling out your report, we don't want you to say, well, I read them the DOSI and they scored a 7. No one's going to know what that means. So moving on, this is the DOSI. So it's available in a card. You can go online and print the card off. There's also an app that someone can go on and have downloaded onto their phone. So the questions are very standard, very simple. Anyone should know this without having to look them up. So what is your date of birth, your full home address, the state you live in, the city we are in now, approximately what time is it, what is the day of the week, meaning month, day, and year. Okay. And then on the back of the document, that'll give law enforcement an idea of maybe how they performed. So 0 to 2, probably not going to take any law enforcement action on that. Just make sure that they're, hey, you're driving, you better, watch your driving and maybe, contact a family member and just say, are they doing okay? But not necessarily any enforcement action. 3 to 4 incorrect. You might want to complete a driver condition report. So those of you that are not familiar, law enforcement can fill out what's called a driver condition report if someone is unsafe to drive, or at least they feel they are. And oftentimes that spurs sometimes medical examinations or, Department of Motor Vehicles getting involved, things of that nature. If they answer 5 or more incorrect, that's kind of a home run and they should not be driving. They need to be off the road. You might want to contact a tow or a family member to come get it and complete the driver condition report. So you can get off the DOSI website. You can just do a quick Google search on DOSI and you'll hop on that site. It's out of the state of California, but you can print off a visor card and a lot of people will laminate them and then law enforcement will put them up in their visor, which, I did for years, those types of little cheat sheets to help you through it. Also, you can download the mobile app. And again, I'll send this out to our law enforcement partners and everyone in the commission. But there's a one-time email and password that you have to enter when you download the app. After that, it'll forever be on your phone. So that's admin@law.gov and law screen. So just report considerations. DOSI does not take the place of a driver condition report. Do not use the tool's name or the final score in your report. Just simply use the questions that they have in the report to help you prove that the person is having issues. And list the language used to show cognitive impairment. So any questions about that? Moving on, Traffic Safety Commission Toolkit. I think everyone here is familiar with or has seen community maps. There's a lot of time, a lot of effort. I'm assuming a lot of money that it's gone into getting community maps going. It's come a long ways from when it first started. Predominantly, everyone thinks about community maps as having traffic data. I want to know about this crash or that crash. Well, it also has information, videos, training, how to fill out a DT-4000 the right way. But it also talks about Traffic Safety Commission Toolkit. So if you go under resources, there's this tab called Traffic Safety Commission Toolkits. And what it is it's a resource for anyone involved in TSCs to go in and look at it and go, what should we do under this situation? Or what would be the best practice here? And what I did was I used that little red arrow to highlight communication with media and the community. One of the reasons why you even have a traffic safety commission is to communicate with the public, with the media about, concerns. And so how do we do that? Well, they're going to show you in there. And one of the important parts of that I highlighted in red. This is just one little section of it, of course, but development of a TSC letterhead. So we were just taking roll and we had all these different people and all these different disciplines that are part of this TSC. It's fine when one person emails, like say a township or a school or a business about a traffic safety concern. But when you have a letterhead that has everyone's name and discipline on it, it's actually pretty impressive and you get a lot more traction that way. The whole part of a Traffic Safety Commission is to review unsafe, things that are going on our highways and byways of this particular county and all the counties in the state of Wisconsin. So if you're able to show that you have this large consensus of people in your county that have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, it tends to help you kind of grease the gears if that makes sense. So continuing on here, development of TSC letterhead, it kind of goes through how you would go about that. So if you wanted to jump on community maps, anyone can do so. You can find out how to create your own letterhead for this TSC. Any questions about that? Okay, moving on. This is a little bit of a dated fatality total, but I liked how the analyst had put this down below. So again, probably hard for everyone to see this right now, but you will get the slides. But for 2025, as of February 28th of this year, we've had 69 crashes involving a fatality. Of those 69 crashes, 72 people have died. If you look at 2024, at this time in February 28th, we had 48 crashes with 51 people killed. So we're trending up, unfortunately. And then down below, again, hard for you to see, but it talks about the roles of those people that have been killed. So as of January of this year, we've had 40 people killed in January that were the driver. We've had 4 people killed that were the passenger and 5 pedestrians. In February, we've had 17 people killed as the driver, 4 as the passenger, 2 as pedestrians. And then down below, it'll show the 2024 numbers for comparison. Moving on. I wanted to do a fatal crash search anytime, we show up to the meeting here, and we did have one. And this was from our last meeting, which was in December. This fatal crash actually occurred on December 12th. So I'll move on down. This occurred on County Road W, 0.83 miles west of Upriver Road, Town of Elk, and Price County Sheriff handled the crash. I have the date wrong there. No, yep, I didn't I'll update that. It's supposed to be 12/12/24 at 3:40 a.m. My apologies. The road conditions was that we had snow and ice. The weather conditions at the time were clear, but we had nighttime conditions with a level and curved roadway. So the roadway was fairly level, but it was curving. And so an SUV was negotiating the curve in the roadway when it crossed the center line and entered the ditch. But according to the officer's reports, did not strike anything. And the vehicle was later found fully engulfed. So I was hoping someone that was knowledgeable of this crash could shed a little light on this. And I had a little discussion with the chair a little bit before this. Things can happen. Why did they pull off? Did they bottom out? Did the vehicle start on fire because it was on top of some grass? I don't know. Go ahead, sir.
I thought when I talked to Sheriff about that, I thought it did strike a tree. I thought there was a issue with a tree, but it was fully inflamed. It was solo accident, but
maybe that was something incorrect in the crash report because it states the vehicle did not strike any objects and did not roll. So, but yeah, very well could have later
it might be
determined
mixing too, because there was another one out on W. Oh, I think that one there was a young lady that went into the ditch and struck the tree. So it might, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, you can have vehicle issues that can start a vehicle on fire. It doesn't have to necessarily be a crash either. So, this is the street view of the crash. This is County Road W. And I always do a search then whenever we have a crash, and so we can see, well, okay, what is the crash history there? So I went back to January 2020. So we're looking at a 5-year period. No deer crashes were selected. So there could have been some deer crashes in here, but I didn't want to look at those. And so we have, from a 5-year period, we have 5 crashes, including the 1 fatal that we have and 1 injury. So looking 2020, we had a speed, Winter Road, lane departure. And also in 2020, we had occupant protection, which is seatbelt, Winter Road, lane departure. In 22, we had impaired speed, teen driver, lane departure. And then in 24, impaired speed, lane departure. And of course, the one that occurred that we're talking about. So 5 total. Moving on, Unit 1 was a 15 Toyota RAV4 operated by an 82-year-old female with a fatal injury. No ground EMS transport. Driver was not ejected or trapped. Driver was not suspected of alcohol or drugs. No test pending, unless there's a medical examiner test, going. But it is unknown if the driver was distracted. Unknown if the driver was wearing a seatbelt or airbag, because I think it was fully engulfed. Oftentimes, you have no way of knowing. Vehicles found fully engulfed with no impact observed. So that's really all I have on that one. Moving on, Governor's Conference Highway Safety. If anyone from the commission would like to attend, that would be great. It actually occurs on 19 and 20. The 18th is business meetings and specialized training. But there is a TSC coordinators meeting the night before, which was Monday the 18th from 5 to 7, free of charge. Networking, possibilities for people, chairs, people in higher ranking positions within the TSC. So if anyone would like to attend that, it's actually a really cool meeting and dinner, but it's free of charge, and there'll be more information out later on that. And that's our law enforcement liaison team. Any questions at all? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Todd. Traffic safety engineer, Ruby? Randy?
Yep. Good afternoon.
That's right. I gotta help you.
Oh,
Hold on 2
yeah,
seconds.
that's okay. I'll introduce myself. He's got my slides going, but so some of you guys may not know me, but my name is Randy Ruby. I'm a traffic operations engineer for the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, and I'll be representing the DOT at future Traffic Safety Commission meetings at Price County, at least for the next year, so 2025. But I just have a short presentation for you here today, going over the upcoming construction projects this summer and some other items of interest. So this is 511 Wisconsin. I'm sure everyone here is familiar with it, but if you would like road construction updates or extended project information, you can visit this website. Also, at the bottom of this link, there's a link to the Wisconsin DOT page, and it can give you a more detailed look at projects, future projects in Wisconsin North Central region. All right, and then our first project here is a 1.9 mile pavement replacement in Phillips on Wisconsin 13. Anticipated construction period from June to the end of September, and Wisconsin 13 will remain open to traffic during most of the construction with single lane closures and a flagging operation. There will be a temporary detour to accommodate grading and storm sewer upgrades. The detour will run from County W and Avon Avenue. If you guys need more information, I can talk to the project manager about that detour. That's all I know about it right now, though. So the next one here, 2.2 mile pavement replacement in Park Falls, also on Wisconsin 13 from June to the end of August. It will remain open to traffic during most of construction with single lane closures. Access to residents and businesses will be maintained, so it'll stay open during construction. Also on Wisconsin 13, 12.5 mile pavement resurface between Phillips and Fifield. So big one from June to the end of August. It will remain open to traffic with single lane closures and flagging operations. Access to business residents and businesses will be maintained at all times on that one. And I think this is the last one, or second to last one, but 10.6 mile pavement resurfacing between Tabata and Wisconsin 13. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, sorry, but on Wisconsin 111. And it's anticipated to run from June to the end of August. Remain open to traffic with single lane closures, and access to residents and businesses will be maintained at all times. All right, and then there's a 6 mile pavement resurfacing between Rib Lake and Spirit on Wisconsin 102 from August to mid-October. It will remain open to traffic during construction with single lane closures, flagging. Access to all residents and businesses will be maintained for that one. And then this is the last one here, county project on County Highway O, there'll be a bridge replacement construction from June to mid-August. And County O will be closed during this construction period with road closure signs will be placed at adjacent intersections and alternative routes are available. So if you need more information, I can always talk to the project manager about that one for the detour. And I think,
Just Jason?
oh, sure.
For that on O, do you have on the map exactly where that bridge is? I was just curious. We do have a bus that goes down there, but is that further down south towards where O starts going back to 13?
I don't have a map of it. I just have this the photo of it, but
So it's the South Fork it's going to cross. Okay, I'll look it up and see.
okay.
I just want to make sure my bus isn't going to get stuck because we do have riders down on O.
Okay, just let me know. I can also talk to one of the project managers for this one. I just get a very brief description of it, so they'll be able to get me some more information on it if you need.
Thank you.
Mhm. And I think. Oh, slide on that. I think so. Yeah. You can skip to the last one there. Okay, and then this is just my contact information. I'll send these slides out if anyone would like them, and yeah, my phone number and emails up there. And then those are the counties that I have in the pink there to the north. So, that's all I had for today. So thanks.
Thank you, Randy. School transportation report. Jason, you have anything?
I have nothing at this time.
Okay, thank you. Bryce, your time in the sun.
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
Nope.
Okay. Gail isn't here. I have nothing to report. Roger isn't here. Next meeting date's June the 5th. Right? June 5th.
Mhm.
And unless somebody has something, we are adjourned.